Okay, so I'm watching and basically I'm done watching. Hmm. The insane scale of Tokyo's disaster mega plan. Uh, he's going through. It's called the Tokyo Resilience Project, which is it's this guy talking. The channel is the B1M, by the way. This guy talking about how Tokyo is, because of the nature of where it is in Japan, Tokyo is apparently vulnerable to any number of natural disasters, which, if you play JRPGs, if you're a Final Fantasy fan, that'll make you understand why there are the particularly Final Fantasy VII, the one that's good, not the remake. Why there are the materia and the summons that there are in that game. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And Final Fantasy VI and whatever. I just helped, I just kind of nudged it in there about I hate Final Fantasy remake. I've never played it. I just hate it on kind of principle. Um, so it's a nice video. I like it. Um, it's good to see what a culture, a society can do when, you know, they care about doing things that are good for their society. Um, I'll say, you know, it seems like it seems like state and local governments are much better at handling, like, and city governments are much better at handling like stuff for the betterment of Americans these past uh, few Republican administrations. Um, because I just I when I went to Huntsville this last time, and I was talking to the Lyft driver. I think it was Lyft. I don't. It was either Lyft or Uber. I was talking with this guy, and he was talking to me about, like, he was like, oh, there's all this construction going on here now, and it's insane. Like, because he's been living in Huntsville. He was like, yeah, these last like 5, 10 years, there's just construction here all the time. And he's like, yeah, they're doing this, they're doing that. And he's like, oh, right there, they've been ripping up the sidewalk. They had to rip it up because they're putting the power lines. They're burying the power lines, um, and so they had to bury the power lines, and now they had to redo the sidewalk. And I'm like, oh, they're doing that because you know it's better, and that's where they should be, and like it's better for like, I guess floods, and it's just in a as the city starts getting bigger and bigger, things like power lines and stuff needs to be underground. Um, you can't just be hanging up because wind, flooding, all that stuff knocks the power line down. Well, that's dangerous. Um, so he's like, yeah, they're doing that kind of stuff, and then there's construction on the freeways and stuff because they got to redo that. And it's like, oh, okay, so Huntsville is like, he's like, yeah, it's getting bigger. Like, there's more college students here, and it's just in general, it's been getting like bigger and bigger and bigger the last like 10 years. So they're doing more and more construction. I'm like, oh, okay. And I also noticed that even in Trinity, like it looks like they're tagging some stuff because I think they're gonna redo, if not this year, because probably not this year, because it looks like it's getting up on hurricane season. Looks like they're about to start doing some work with like the water line, or they're gonna put in like some new sewer stuff, something, I don't know. But there's those little flags out flagging, this is where the water goes and everything on the street. So even in Trinity. So we'll see. And I just, it's like, but all I hear about really is that the federal government is, giving a tax cut. And, even if, a tax cut for middle class, I mean, middle class doesn't really need a tax cut. I mean, how much do you really pay in taxes? It's like you can't really give a tax cut to the middle class because the only taxes the middle class tends to pay are the taxes that you can't give a tax cut to. You pay sales tax, which you don't pay federal sales tax, so. And you're not going to lower Social Security, and you're not going to lower the only taxes that like are important, like the stuff that goes into Medicare and stuff. So those are like locked in, and the other taxes are like, once you remove all the other stuff that is locked in and you can't touch, it's like you don't really have anything. It's like, we gave you $200 extra for the year. It's like, yeah. So when they talk about tax cuts for the middle class, I mean, it's just like, and so the best thing that can really be done for the middle class, the people that are getting $40,000 to $80,000 a year, the best thing that can really be done, I would say, is something like expanding, give everybody food credits or something like expanding SNAP so that everybody gets food SNAP benefits, to expanding SNAP to like just everybody. Everybody up to, unless your income unless your income is $1 million or more, which basically would cover everybody in the United States gets SNAP benefits. Just of $300 worth a person, something like that. You know. And then it's just like stuff like that. So or I mean, we can discuss things that would just plain make life better for everyone across the board. And or like I say, if you're not feeling great about that, just be like I say before, like every grocery store, just be like the produce section is just like free for everybody. Because every grocery store I walked into, the produce is like stocked to the gills all the time. Every grocery store, everything is always stocked. So I mean, why are we even paying for this? I mean, I know they're like supposedly a business, but like, who gives a crap? Like, why isn't it just free to the end user, and then like we go in, we pay for it, we bring it up, and then if you want to pay for, if you want the junky stuff that's not in the produce section, not in the meat section, not in the I have to go home and like cook it section, that you pay for. Like, yeah, it would hurt me because I hate cooking stuff. So maybe since I'm poor, I'm poor and I'm in that kind of class. I'm disabled and stuff. You can give me a little bit of extra helping hand, but you guys are middle class and earning money and all that stuff. Maybe you have an extra person at the household, and not only that, but you guys are married. You found love. You deserve to have to go through the garbage of making food. I don't got anybody. I deserve junk food for free. All right, that's the only love I got in my life. All right. I know some people would be like, well, maybe if you stop eating junk food, you would find love. Yeah, that's not exactly how things work. Look at me. If I was handsome, I'd probably have love already. People would be all over this. Because I am pretty charming. I've always been kind of charming. No. I've just been the charming frog. So, I mean, I've been the charming, broke frog. And Hollywood just don't make the right movies. They don't make the movie that says, oh, you're really nice and everything, but dude, you need to get it together. Like, oh man, Get it together. If only someone would have told me about that earlier. Get it together. Dang. Thanks for that insightful piece of knowledge. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on the whole getting it together thing. I like the sitting on my butt and not doing the get there. So, call me when you change your mind about the peace out, bitch. But you can keep dating the guy that's gonna beat the shit out of you. So tell me how it's turning out. Taking that money. He looks good and he's got money, but he's got boxing gloves. I know, ladies. I'm just bitching now. Ooh. See, with me, at least I have a seizure, so I don't remember. But ladies, you don't get to have seizures, so you remember getting beat to crap. I'm drinking chocolate milk. I have a few sugar-rated things in my fridge now. I'm gonna get rid of them real quick, and then I'm gonna get back on the water because these are really nice. But get rid of this stuff and then get back on drinking water. I should have a scale so I can see what I weigh without having to go to doctor's office. I'll be right back. Hold on, give me a second. Oh boy. Man. I like smoking, but I also kind of don't like smoking. I would like smoking more if they were cheap. And let me see. They tasted a little bit better. And cloves have a flavor to them. I smoked. I didn't really smoke cloves, but I have smoked a couple cloves. But man, cloves are kind of horrible. I mean, kind of like devastatingly horrible in many ways. But yeah, they would be much better if they tasted better. You could get a flavor in there that was kind of fruity or something like that without a chemical and without kind of compromising anything else. I don't know. I suppose you probably could. But traditionalists would probably be like, they would probably say, it would probably be like those people who are like, you drink wine? You put ice in your wine? I'm like, yeah, because it's better cold. You're not supposed to drink it that way. At best, you're supposed to drink it chilled. They're like, yeah, but it's better ice cold than chilled. And you know what's even better than wine? Grape juice. Because it's sweeter. And if you're going to get drunk, the best way to get drunk is vodka. Or, you know, if you're a bourbon person, some kind of bourbon. And I didn't. For the longest time, I hated bourbon, but I had a bourbon at my brother-in-law's house the last time I was there. I don't remember what kind it was. I don't remember the brand or anything, but it was actually pretty good. So I guess it just matters on what brand. And I'm pretty sure this bourbon that I had was pretty expensive. So when it comes to non-vodka liquor, I'm kind of a fancy pants bitch, I think. But I do like that. What is that chocolate liquor? What is that? I can look it up real quick. Good. Bailey's. Yeah, it was Bailey's. uh, it was Bailey's. I've like always heard about it. I didn't drink when I was like in my 20s. I didn't start drinking until I was like 35 or something. So I like missed out on it when all my friends were doing it, basically. So like I didn't like get like the education, the drinking education, and the the knowledge of like, oh, this is this and like this is that. So I don't know, like I've never had tequila either. Everybody says tequila is like, don't drink tequila unless you want to fight or some shit like that. So, or you want to drink tequila and wake up and not know what the hell happened. That sort of stuff. So, I have had a Long Island iced tea. Someone made it for me, and I was like, okay, so make me a Long Island iced tea. Make me a good one, and be like, that's like the greatest drink, and you'll love it. It was like early on in my drinking life, and be like, and I was like, oh, this is good. You're right, this is good. So I have had that. I forgot the name. The name of this one vodka that I had, it was better than Three Olives, but Three Olives is a good vodka, by have my brother-in-law drinks a brand of vodka that is better than 3 olives. It's I I call it dangerous vodka because it's dangerous. It's too smooth. Liquor that smooth and that good is dangerous because I'll put it in a glass and I'll put like 3 or 4 ice cubes in it and I'll just start drinking it and I'll just like in like 15 minutes or something I'll drink it and the glass will be empty and I'll put some more in there and another ice cube or two and then I'll start drinking it again and I'll just be like, oh, and by the way, you're an asshole. And I'll be like, what? Oh, how did that come out? I'll just be like, oh, oops. Okay, so I'm at that point. All right, I gotta like change up the knob in my head that like regulates stuff. It's like it gets ahead of me. That's why I call it dangerous vodka. It's like, oh, okay, so the filter needs to be adjusted. All right, all right. So that's a game we're playing. Sorry, I didn't mean that. But I didn't mean for it to come out. I meant for it to stay in here. Yeah. That's kind of the. I like that. That's another reason I kind of like had to stop drinking. It's like I like drinking too much. Like, and you like doing it that much. It's just that's another thing. Like if I had more money and it wasn't causing me health problems and stuff, I would drink more because it's very fun. It's just very fun, and it's just I don't know. But what are you gonna do? All right, that was a long enough video. We ended on a good note talking about drinking. Things you just can't do anymore, especially after 40. Because after 40, man, after 40 and drinking is just like, man, not so much drinking, but after 40, just getting wasted. This is just a little pathetic. He's kind of a lot pathetic, but you know. All right. Well, tax rich, kneecap rich. You're supposed to tax wealth, not work. Wealth, not work. Boobs.